That's y'all's president that you wanted a second term for. And now look what he's doing to the American people that he swore to protect. Many people can't afford rent, groceries, or doctor's visits as it is. Now these families are being forced to choose between medicine, utilities, and food for their children. There are over 40 million Americans that rely on SNAP benefits every single month. The USDA is already warning states that the money is running out. If this shutdown keeps going, November benefits could be gone. There will be no happy Thanksgiving for the families that are at or below the poverty line.
You voted for the Democrat, for Mikey Sherrill.
Yes.
Why did you vote for Mikey Sherrill?
I voted for Trump before, but now I look at Trump is different. The economy I not look good. That's a vote for Democrat.
You said the economy. Also, when we spoke earlier, you mentioned immigration. What is it about his immigration action?
Well, I'm very sad for this because some people okay, but a lot of people working good. The family is the more important in the life.
Michigan MAGA voters are out here facing the cold, hard reality that the policies they cheered for are now emptying their wallets, their fridges, and their bank accounts. We're talking gas prices up nearly $1, groceries climbing, 800,000 agriculture jobs potentially gone, and former Trump voters on camera saying, "I regret my vote." This is what happens when the promises hit the pavement and the pavement wins. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's get into it.
Content creators are often told not to get political, but I don't believe in that. When politics impact every aspect of our lives, especially the cost of living, it's not really optional. For example, this is what a normal day looks like for a girl living in Michigan. I decide to go to the grocery store and stop for gas on the way, but because of Trump's war, I'm paying more at the pump now, nearly $1 more per gallon compared to this time last year. Then I get to the grocery store and I notice my groceries are noticeably higher. Food prices in Michigan are creeping up, and part of that comes down to tariffs. They're basically hidden taxes on imported goods, which makes it more expensive for farmers to grow food and more expensive for us to buy it. So this isn't just about being political. This is just about how everyday life is getting more expensive. And yeah, I'm more privileged than most. This is affecting real people in our communities, and we need to band together to demand change.
Okay, so she's in Michigan paying nearly $1 more per gallon just for gas, and groceries are creeping up on top of that. And look, I get it, nobody wants to make their grocery run political. But when tariffs are literally acting like a hidden tax on every single item in your cart, it stops being political and starts being math. The part that gets me though is she's saying she's more privileged than most, meaning the people really getting squeezed aren't even on camera yet. Buckle up because this video is just getting started.
All right, so we just got out of caucus. We started session all over again. It is, and you probably can't, but it is 12:35 on Wednesday morning. And it's really a little bit difficult to explain, but the Senate has the Bolin bill, emergency shutdown, and it sounds like the Senate's going to pass that over for like a quasi-continuing resolution. We'll hopefully have somewhat of a budget in our hands soon, and the governor then approves it. But we haven't seen much of anything yet, so still waiting.
Why in God's name do you want to be Michigan's next governor?
Because I'm a mom of, a 9-year-old kid, and everything we do over the next decade is going to define his childhood and his future. And it's going to define the future of our loved ones all across the state. And so I want to make Michigan the best place to be a kid and raise a kid and call home.
All right, so she's running for governor as a mom, talking about healthcare, housing, food, energy costs, all going up. And she's saying Michigan isn't the best place to raise a kid right now. She's being honest about that, which is actually rare for a politician to just say. Flat out, the thing she said that stuck with me is eliminate the wait times and make voting easier. Because those sound like small things, but they compound it to real quality of life changes. A mom of a 9-year-old going up against an entire broken system is either incredibly brave or incredibly exhausted. Probably both, and honestly, Michigan needs someone who at least knows what a grocery bill feels like.
We have to be honest that we're not that right now. People are struggling. They are struggling to be able to afford health care, housing, food, energy costs are on the rise. But as Secretary of State, I know how to make government run well. I've seen the transformation that could come if you just eliminate the wait times in our offices or make sure voting is easier for everyone. So I'm running because I want to make government work well for everyone and invest in transformational ideas, high-class quality education, rapid high-speed transit, other things that will make Michigan the best place to be a kid, raise a kid, and call home.
All right, let's see what the Michigan MAGAs are doing. What the fuck? Michigan families can't afford rent and groceries, and Josh Shriver is busying himself banning chemtrails. What next, buddy? You gonna ban Bigfoot and give yourself a pat on the back? I know the Michigan GOP isn't particularly good at serving the people, but here's a pro tip. This doesn't do it.
What are you hearing from people as you are connecting with them as a candidate for Senate?
I've been to more than 40 different cities now, Lori, and it doesn't really matter where I go. The same general feeling comes out, which is I am so tired and it just shouldn't be this hard. And I don't understand why. It just seems like it's always getting harder. And that shows up in some very particular ways. I don't know that the job I worked yesterday is going to be there for me tomorrow. I am embarrassed that I have to think at the grocery store about whether or not I can afford a little bit more, right? And I got to go walk back that half gallon of ice cream that I wanted to buy for the family. I'm really worried about what might happen if my kid or I get sick because I can't afford my deductible. I'm worried if I'm ever going to be able to own a home if folks are under the age of 40, or if I can stay in my home if I'm over the age of 65. I'm worried about what this administration is doing to my benefits. I'm worried about whether or not I can look my neighbors in the eyes and have an honest conversation about the places we agree and disagree. I'm worried, and it shouldn't be this hard. And the thing about it is, it doesn't matter if you're talking in a union hall in Escanaba or you're talking in a church in Detroit. It really is the same issues in the same language. And my hope is that folks recognize that I've been talking about the same things now for 10 years. I don't pull my punch. I'm not waiting for some pollster to tell me what to say. I'm not waiting to get the green light from my corporate backers or the special interests that I want to fund my campaign, because I don't take corporate money. I'm the only person in this race who never has and never will. And so folks understand that when I'm talking to them, I'm being specific and direct about the solutions that I think could actually make things work.
Yo, this Senate candidate just said something that actually matters. He's been in 40 different cities, and everywhere he goes, people are saying the same thing. It just shouldn't be this hard. That line about putting back the ice cream because you're not sure you can afford it, that's not a statistic. That's humiliation at the grocery store checkout. And the fact he said he doesn't take corporate money and never will. Look, I'm not here to campaign for the guy, but that is a differentiator worth paying attention to. Because when your politician is funded by the same corporations raising your prices, you already know whose side they're on. The people sending this guy money are the people. And that changes what he's willing to say out loud.
Yep, damn right. I kind of do feel for younger generations just seeing the price of houses. You know, that's because it's like you get the both. You know, like you're happy that you have all this equity, but at the same time, when you see that, it's like the other part comes in. It's like, you know, that also equals other people not having the same opportunity to buy a home.
Well, the income really hasn't followed the housing prices.
Yeah.
So like when I got my first salary job, it was like $36,000. I was like, I'm rich.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Now that can't do anything.
No, I mean,
no offense, but it's really hard to live on that now.
Yeah. When I was younger, I thought like, cause I seen what my dad made, you know, and I was like, okay, if I get to 6 digits, if I get to $100,000, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be able to have a place up north, a house, a boat, anything I want. $100,000. That's the number. Let's go. Now it's like, $100,000 can't even support a family.
No.
Like $100,000 should be able to pay for your house, your car, all your necessities, insurance, everything. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't.
No.
It's crazy.
Well, so just that sick of the city. I didn't like the high cost of housing.
Okay.
I was just sick of it, man.
What city?
Grand Rapids, Michigan. Housing went up. Jobs disappeared, and I was like, why am I...
Bro, the 100K dream is dead, and these guys are living the autopsy. One dude said he thought making 6 figures meant a house up north, a boat, the whole package. Now $100,000 can barely support a family, let alone build one. And the other guy said he moved out of the city because he got sick of paying rent when he could buy. But then housing went up, and jobs disappeared. So now what? This is the exact squeeze that nobody warned the MAGA crowd about, because they were promised cheaper everything and instead got more expensive everything. The income hasn't followed the housing price. That's not an opinion. That's just the math hitting different for everyone under 40 right now.
I'm going to keep paying for an apartment when I can buy an apartment.
Right.
And pretty much build what I want to inside of it.
I had issues with my vehicle, and then I had issues with my solar. So he helped me out with both of them, and he's the one that got me like, you know, do what you can to help people out here. Because you never know when you're going to need help.
If you need help, you'll get help.
Yeah,
People will help you. People will try to do what they can for you.
Let's do this. This is very much military style.
Military style, okay.
Very Spartan.
An old army bus, yeah?
I don't know what service it is. I'm a vet.
Oh, you are a vet?
I'm the vet.
Do you miss the service at all, or no?
I do. I do.
That's y'all's president that you wanted a second term for. And now look what he's doing to the American people that he swore to protect. Many people can't afford rent, groceries, or doctor's visits as it is. Now these families are being forced to choose between medicine, utilities, and food for their children. There are over 40 million Americans that rely on SNAP benefits every single month. The USDA is already warning states that the money is running out. If this shutdown keeps going, November benefits could be gone. There will be no happy Thanksgiving for the families that are at or below the poverty line. And at this rate, I'm afraid there won't be a Merry Christmas for the children of middle and low.
3 items: goldfish crackers, a bag of apples, half a gallon of milk, $13, and that's the sale price. She's returning cans from the garage just to offset the cost, and she says she's in a better position than most families. That's the part that should stop you cold. If someone who's more stable than average is counting bottle returns to afford goldfish crackers, what is actually happening in the homes of people who are less stable? And she said she does grocery shopping every single week, so she knows what Michigan families feel. Meanwhile, the Republicans she's calling out haven't pushed their own cart in years. That gap between the people in power and the people in pain is the whole story right here.
Class families either. Every single day that this shutdown continues, families are losing access to food, childcare, healthcare, and stability, while the people responsible for this are still collecting their government paychecks. This isn't leadership, it's neglect. But y'all want to talk about fiscal responsibility? Where's the responsibility when innocent children starve? Where's the accountability when those in power are literally destroying our democracy piece by piece? Listen, I've tried to keep the peace, and I've always respected the opinions of others by agreeing to disagree. But I refuse to stay silent any longer, because silence is complicity. The foundation of our democracy is meant to protect its...
Okay, she just went from talking about SNAP benefits to quoting history, and she's not wrong. 40 million Americans on food assistance every single month. And the USDA is already warning states the money is running out. Families being forced to choose between medicine, utilities, and food for their children, while the people who caused the shutdown are still collecting their government paychecks. That detail right there is what should make your blood boil, and she said silence is complicity, which fair enough. But here's the thing, the loudest silence in this whole situation is coming from the MAGA voters who are now living these consequences and still haven't said it out loud yet. Don't worry though, we're about to hear from them very soon.
Citizens, not punish them. We are literally watching the collapse of compassion in real time. Call your congressperson, demand that they reopen the government and protect SNAP, Medicaid, and every social safety net. Because this isn't even about politics anymore. It's about survival. And history will remember who stayed silent. I can promise you that.
So I am at my local Kroger grocery store right now doing some last minute shopping before I head to Lansing tomorrow morning. I had to pick up some snacks for the kids. Let me just show you what I have in my cart. 3 items. A carton of goldfish crackers, a bag of apples, half a gallon of milk. The milk is $1.99, bag of apples is $3.99, and the crackers is $6.99. Total of $13. And this stuff is on sale, mind you. Like, these are the sale prices. Now, I did return some cans that I had lying around in the garage. So I have some of these bottle return receipts. Also have this $1 off coupon that they sent me. I am in a much better position than many families. If I'm struggling this much, I know how much you are struggling too. That is due to Trump inflation, failed Republican policies, grocery prices going up, gas, utilities, everything is going up, and families are struggling. This is 3 items for $13. Absolutely unacceptable and ridiculous. And if Republicans continue to stay in office, we are only going to see prices going up because they are doing absolutely nothing about this. They are so out of touch. They don't even do their own grocery shopping. What makes you think that they are thinking about these issues? I do the grocery shopping every single week, so I know how expensive grocery is to the average Michigan family. I'm going to do everything in my power to help us lower prices, to put more money back in your pockets, to fight for policies that put you first. Because this right here is unacceptable.
You voted for the Democrat, for Mikey Sherrill.
Yes.
Why did you vote for Mikey Sherrill?
I voted for Trump before, but now I look at Trump is different. The economy I not look good. That's a vote for Democrat.
You said the economy. Also, when we spoke earlier, you mentioned immigration. What is it about his immigration action?
Well, I'm very sad for this, because some people okay, but a lot of people working good. The family is the more important in the life.
This is how it went.
Very happy and excited that Trump won. As far as financially, obviously nothing's really changed. We're still under the Biden administration, but I know that it is coming.
And this is how it's going.
So I admit, I regret my vote for Donald Trump. I regret it because I needed these changes sooner. I needed the prices to go down sooner so that I didn't drain out my bank account.
Yeah, you regret your vote. And you know what? You're saying that you regret your vote. You're on video here crying your eyes out because you learned the hard way that Donald Trump does not mean lower prices for you. He again stated over and over and over again that he was going to do blanket tariffs. We told you he was going to raise prices. You guys said, no, we don't know what we're talking about. Experts who've studied this for 10 plus years now, they just don't know. And now you're suffering the consequences of raising prices in a shitty economy. And you're
All right, so we finally get there. A former Trump voter on camera saying, I regret my vote. He drained his bank account waiting for prices to go down, and they didn't. And the host isn't letting him off easy either. He's reminding him that tariffs and blanket price increases were on the campaign website. Economists warned about this for 10 plus years. And MAGA voters said, nah, those experts don't know what they're talking about. Well, here we are, the Elon Musk crowd at the town hall with 0 hands going up in approval. Tells you everything. Even the true believers are looking at Doge and going, wait, who authorized this? Nobody elected that man to dismantle anything. That's the made-up department doing very real damage.
A show of fingers. Who approves of what Elon Musk has been doing in the Trump administration? None of you. And who disapproves? All 7 of you.
See, he wasn't elected to do anything. Like, I don't understand his position. It's a made-up position that they made, department or whatever. And he's been going through with the sledgehammer, just actually dismantling everything with the approval of Trump. So I'm almost at the point where, did he actually buy the election to do what he wanted to do?
He was president for 4 years. You knowingly chose to put him back in office, having watched him in office for 4 years. How can you be surprised?
I don't feel like he was this aggressive last time, because I don't think anyone would have voted for him if they expected to see what we're seeing now.
I don't understand the need to piss every other country off. Like Canada. Like we love Canada, don't we? Like my whole life, there's never been a problem with Canada.
I thought he was going to change things with affordability and make things cheaper, but by putting these tariffs in and terrorizing the world, now things are just going to get more expensive. Everything I believed was going to happen, I think, is going to go the opposite direction.
I feel like a lot of his actions have just been disruptive and creating chaos.
He didn't come out and be real with us and say, hey, I'm going to cut hundreds of thousands of jobs, and you could possibly, your bills are going to go up. Like, that wasn't campaigned on.
You voted for Trump in 2024, but you've been very critical of him so far in our conversation. Someone watching this might say, why did she vote for the guy?
Sure. I think what he campaigned with and compared to what he's doing is pretty opposite.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming. I didn't think he was going to take these points of views that he's taking.
I thought that his first 100 days, like he talked about, would be so much better than they are. It's a little frightening too. He's so erratic and getting to the point where I'm almost scared to watch the news. I mean, it's a little bit frightening.
He's acting like a dictator. He's basically letting, what he says goes, and he's not getting approval from the people, Congress. He's not taking the appropriate measures to put things in place. He thinks he's it. He's in charge. He's a king. He's a dictator. He's, running everything.
Right now, we almost have to accept the fact that we're in a dictatorship, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop him. He has immunity from everything. So how are we to strip him from his powers? How can we put him in jail? Like, who's going to do it?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
The answer is you, motherfucker.
800,000 jobs at risk in Lansing, Michigan. Please stay for this. Look at this. Look at this. The red state of Michigan is at risk of losing 800,000 agriculture jobs due to tariffs. Yes, Michigan voted red. Yes, Michigan voted for this administration. 800,000 jobs, but wait. Wheat is down 89%. Apples are down 58%. But guess what? That means higher cost for consumers.
800,000 agriculture jobs at risk in Michigan, wheat down 89%, apples down 58%, but that means higher consumer costs, so farmers lose income. And you pay more at the store. That's a double hit landing on the same people. Michigan voted for this administration. She said it twice, and she's not wrong to say it twice. Because the math is right there. You voted red. The state went red. And now 800,000 jobs might be gone. And the Supreme Court isn't even hearing the tariff cases until November. So there's no rescue coming before the damage is done. This isn't abstract policy debate anymore. This is food supply chain collapse territory. And the people who cheered the loudest at the MAGA rallies are the exact farmers watching their crop values crater right now.
Meaning you and me. 800,000 jobs. Do you understand how catastrophic this could be to agriculture, to the food supply chain, to the economy? Tariffs are devastating this economy, and the Supreme Court is not due to hear until November. And the way that they are leaning is not good for the USA. Will this be number 7 bankruptcy? Drop a comment.
Among those at the rally, supporters known as Auto Workers for Trump, well aware Michigan is meant to be the prime beneficiary of Trump's auto tariffs targeting nearby Ontario. When you look into the future and you look across the river at the giant auto industry in Canada,
right.
What do you think the
Most
ultimate...
of those are jobs that came from our country and they moved over there. So the vehicles that are being sold in the United States, we want to build them here in the United States. And that's what Trump's trying to do. He's fighting for us, and that's why we support him 100%.
It is a forceful position made even as Trump is now scaling back some aspects of the tariffs for autos, if only temporarily, for pushback in Canada on Trump's talk of it becoming the 51st state.
You know, Canada needs to pay attention to who they're dealing with. I mean, everything that they have, we make right here at home in America. We don't need them as much as they need us.
Be a little more respectful to Americans, he said, Adrian.
But not all Americans see it that way, Paul.
No, they do not. In fact, recent polls are showing that support for Donald Trump is falling in this country. And I got to say, this was the least attended Trump rally I'd ever been to. And some people were leaving just 30 minutes after he took the stage.
Would you have voted Trump?
Yeah.
Tariffs increase taxes disproportionately on low and middle income individuals because they spend a greater proportion of their income on consumer goods comparative to people who have more income.
Doesn't the importers pay?
That's the American business that's paying it. Yeah, when they import the product, they pay that.
So we pay tariffs?
Yes, it's passed on to the consumer.
Bro, this changes everything because I always thought that we don't pay anything at all.
Yeah, like he literally tries to make it seem like it's just coming from other countries. No, that's paid directly by the consumer. So what he's doing is he's taking a progressive tax structure, income tax, and he's replacing it with a regressive tax structure, tariffs. So he's essentially taking money from low and middle income individuals and giving it to rich people. I'm not trolling. That's what he ran on, and people fucking voted for it. So why would you want a candidate?
Okay, so this woman at the rally just had her mind blown learning that tariffs are paid by the American consumer. She literally said this changes everything because she always thought other countries just paid it. And that right there is the whole problem in one conversation. The policy was sold as punishing China and Canada. The reality is it's a regressive tax that hits low and middle. Middle income people, hardest because they spend more of their income on consumer goods, taking from the working class and funneling it upward. That's not a lib talking point. That's just what regressive taxation means. And then the Republicans who sold this idea are also defunding opioid recovery programs and homelessness prevention. That their own rural districts, 800 green dots on that map, mostly Republican rural communities that just had their money. Pulled by the very people they keep re-electing, that's the full circle moment right there.
That cuts taxes for rich people disproportionately.
Recently, I got this comment. Oh, I'm not talking about this racist one right here. Take a look at this one up here. Angelica said, reaching out from Jackson, Michigan, our community was impacted by the cancellation of over $5 million funding to support, prevent, and resolve homelessness. So let's see who represents Jackson. Oh, would you look at that? Kathy Schmaltz, staunch Republican, and Tim Walberg, U.S. Congressman and Republican, represents Jackson City. Republican. And the city of Jackson is dealing with a huge homelessness problem coupled with the opioid crisis. They thought they were doing your community a favor. These are work projects from the Department of Health and Human Services. Let me direct you to page 4, which is listed as page 2 on this PDF. You can see right here, this line item, Michigan Opioid Healing and Recovery, it cut $7 million. Stay with me. In 2016, the opioid-related death rate was 30 deaths per 100,000 in Calhoun County. That was 1.72 times higher than the entire state of Michigan. I know some of you guys are going to be like, oh, well, that was from 2016. It's 2025. Oh, well, look at this. In August of 2025, Calhoun County was among the top 5 highest for overdose fatalities in the state of Michigan. And according to MDHHS, which helps to administer naloxone, there was an increase of 171% usage in Calhoun County. Well, would you look at that? Calhoun County is represented by this fine gentleman, Steve Frisbee, who happens to be a paramedic. I'm sure he understands this crisis very, very intimately. So that's where the money went. I guess you could say that Republicans defunded their own district. I know you're probably thinking, well, that was just one project. What about the entire state of Michigan? I got you. You know that renewable ready energy program that the speaker said was waste, fraud, and abuse? And he defunded that program too. Well, there was $30 million that was awarded across the state of Michigan to communities. And would you look at that? All of these green dots represent communities that received hundreds and thousands of dollars, millions of dollars for their communities to fix their city halls, fix their roads, get new fire trucks, build new community centers, and all of this right here, Republican rural districts. Here, 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 everywhere. The majority of this money went to Republican rural districts. So the speaker just defunded their own communities.
So what we just watched is a state in real-time reckoning with the gap between what was promised and what actually showed up. Gas prices up, groceries up, 800,000 agriculture jobs hanging by a thread. Opioid funding quid in the exact counties that voted for the cuts. Former Trump voters on camera saying, I regret it. And rural Republican districts losing the green energy money their own congresspeople just defunded. The through line in all of this is simple. Policy has consequences, and those consequences don't care who you voted for. They just show up at the pump, at the checkout, and in the job numbers. So here's the question I want you to answer in the comments. At what point does buyer's remorse actually change voting behavior? Or do people just find someone else to blame? Drop your honest take below, like, share, subscribe.